we have our next speaker. He's Abhishek Ballabh. Welcome, Abhishek. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Dr. Ravi, and great to be a part of this webinar. And thank you for having me here.
Yeah. So Abhishek is co-founder of ExtraaEdge. ExtraaEdge, one of the leading technology providers in the higher education ecosystem, and they are doing some amazing work. So Abhishek, I request you to please take over and tell to our audience that how your organization is helping the higher education institutions. Yeah, Abhishek.
Right, absolutely. So good morning to everyone, all present. I think it's thank you for Ravi and Elets team for having me here. And before I start the presentation, Ravi, so what I would suggest that the presentation will be made available to you for people to consume it if they want to after the call. So people no need to take screenshots and things. We will make the material available to first of all, right? It can be consumed. Also, Ravi, with your permission, I would also like to share my contact details in case people have questions. They can reach out to me. So over the chat, what I'm doing is that I'm just saying that if you have any questions, you can just leave it to me, and I can answer those questions later, if you want to. So with that, I will kick off my session, Ravi. So I'll share my screen and start. Ravi, I hope you are able to see my screen.
Yes, very well.
Just give me a second. Right. So again, good morning, everyone. My name is Abhishek Ballabh, and I represent ExtraaEdge. And the topic for today is how do we help admission teams win in 2020? So prior to that, ExtraaEdge is an admission and marketing automation software for the education institutes. So like Colpole manages the entire life cycle of a student post-admissions, ExtraaEdge everything pre-admissions and during the admission part, right? So we are going to talk today about how education institutes, the administration, the management, and the stakeholders can enable and help their admission teams win in 2020. So about me, as I said, I'm the co-founder of ExtraaEdge. I'll share the deck with you, so you have the details of how to reach out to me and how to reach out to us. And basically, we are building the #1 most preferred admission platform for the Indian education industry. And that's what we have been doing for the past 4 years, and we are committed to that cause. But before that, let me give you a bit of context. Everybody right now is in the middle of kind of a crisis, and there is a lot of uncertainty. So let's quickly look at very quick stats, right? So COVID-19 has hit India hard with all offline operations of education institutes and private tutoring coming to a grinding halt. That's a fact. And we need to accept the fact that this has already happened. So let's look at some of the data that substantiate this. So if you look at some of the news that we are hearing that, colleges are closed, some colleges may not, open amidst lockdown. There is uncertainty regarding students coming back to the campus, about entrance examinations, about coaching institutes, about various qualifying examinations will lead to students in higher education or study abroad and so on and so forth. So a lot of voices which we are seeing is that, are education institutes prepared in a new world? Right? Are the right kind of entrance examinations will happen, which becomes a prerequisite for university admissions? So that's a kind of voices that we have been hearing. But let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, today on the panel, right? This is a very important seminal moment in Indian education history. So COVID is basically has acted like a demonetization moment for edtech and education tech industry, because their user base has doubled in a month from 45 million to around 90 million, right? That's double the forecast pre-COVID. And let's look at what kind of data that that is going out in the market. So you see these kind of newses, right? So companies who have a very clear edtech play have made their curriculum free. They are complementing with universities to build curriculum together. And what we have seen that from 2019 to 2020, right? there have been literally from 45 million down 90 million growth, 100% staggering growth in terms of people who are adopting or new users who are coming onto the platform or the online platform to it. So there is a massive adoption that's happening in the market. So what I wanted to start and sensitize the audience here present today is that something has happened that has fundamentally impacted us. It may not be negative. It has positive tailwinds for the education industry and for the education technology space per se. So we need to embrace and we need to see that how can we leverage the tailwind to our own advantage and to the students' advantage. So that's a positive, kind of reinforcement from which I wanted to start this presentation, right? Now, so what is happening, right? So the best institutes are reinventing themselves in two core fundamental areas. These are two core fundamental areas, gentlemen. The first area is how we acquire students and how we skill students. These are the two areas, acquire and skill. And these are very core, fundamental, deep areas which we need to have a dialogue from the stakeholder, and we need to have a long-term strategy, right? Long-term strategy is very, very important. A lot of work is being done on how to skill students, how to train students, how to establish learning pedagogy. But often than not, right, how do we acquire students and what are the institutes doing in the acquisition space, right? It's basically around 90% below the iceberg. Only an education institutes or owner of an institutes and admission team go through that challenge or go through that pain of figuring out an acquisition strategy. And today, via ExtraaEdge, I'm going to speak about that. So let's look at what has happened. So the way admissions happen in universities will need a strategy change because of three things that's happening. The way any university will acquire their students and their prospects will be completely or probably predominantly, if not completely, online, digital, and social. So the discovery has to be social. The brand and ubiquitous presence has to be digital. That's one. Second, they will need a very powerful tool, or they will need a very powerful growth strategy or an admission or marketing strategy for making sure that they are able to increase their conversions and optimize their cost of acquisition. Because it's very, very important for the universities to also optimize their cost of acquisition because of cash crunch and cash flow issues. They need to play or run their admission cycle in a cost effective way. So CRM, automation, and tools will come in handy. And primarily, when students are not very comfortable or not very clear about coming to physically to the campus and going around the campus and collecting a form or taking a tour, they will be sitting probably miles away from you and you will be engaging with them. So how do you nurture them, engage them, and counsel them on a regular basis? And not only that student, but also that worrying parent who's also hit by a financial burden today. How can you make his or her life easier because he is himself in some kind of financial dilemma? Okay? So how we can do that? So fundamentally, admissions in universities will need a strategy change, and I'm going to talk about that today. So what ExtraaEdge does here? So ExtraaEdge, in a simple way, ladies and gentlemen, helps admission teams acquire and win. We primarily work with admission teams, the marketing and the outreach team, the owners of the institute, people who are running the admission function, and we help them to do three fundamental things. First of all, we help them to build a very robust admission platform where any kind of offline and online prospect data along with the leads flowing are connected via our proprietary platform APIs. So that's the first touch point. When a student wants to reach out to you or you want to reach out to that particular student, the whole process of inquiries and applications and engagement needs to be seamless. No manual intervention, absolutely automated. And so comes to the next part of marketing platform. While the leads and the prospects who are interested in your course, in your offering, in your brand are ready to talk to you, you need to talk to them back. You need to do that periodically, consistently throughout the year, 24/7. Because students will have queries which needs to be answered promptly. Some queries might stem from a lack of understanding. some query might come out from a fear or uncertainty. So a ubiquitous, continuous communication that needs to happen on a periodical basis is very, very critical. Think of yourself as that your email, SMS, WhatsApp, all kinds of communication that you do in your personal life with your family members. An analogy needs to be there with your family of your prospect students who will come and take up courses in your universities. You need to have a very thorough, thought about strategy across the admission journey. Brand cannot be built in 3 months, 6 months prior to the admission season. It needs to be throughout the year. That's what we have learned from retail and FMCG, right? You need to build a brand and you need to have a marketing strong platform. Third, for which ExtraaEdge is probably the first market first technology to do this. You know how your admissions have happened over the past 15, 20, 30 years. You have tons of data. And basically, ExtraaEdge helps you to sit on top of your admission and marketing data and helps you understand that whether a prospect is a right fit for you using machine learning and using a bit of AI. Not only that, but also at the ground level for a telecaller, a counselor, or an admission executive. What should be the next best action for me for a particular candidate? For a candidate, it could be a phone call. For a candidate, it could be an email or an SMS. And for some candidates, it could be that probably they are not the right fit for us. So we should not probably talk to them. We should wish them best and let them make some other education opportunities and things like that, right? So the whole focus of us during this last 4 years of our journey has been how do we empower admission teams acquire and win and at scale. And that's where we are helping more than 175 plus university leaders in education to do that. So, the likes of Ahmedabad University, Symbiosis, MIT, Avantika, D.Y. Patil, Zeel, Atria, Zain, Jain, all these category leaders who are a category leader in themselves have established brand over the last, more than 40 to 50 years, right? We are helping their admission teams, their owners, their VCs and their academics, who contribute to the admission cycle to run their admissions in a more data-driven manner. So what kind of tools? So any kind of new age, new change beckons some different kind of engagement tools, and these need to be driven by smartphone. So I was having a conversation with a couple of our people who we work with, a couple of universities, and they said that, hey Abhishek, while our people are working at home, they are sitting at home, it's very, very important to that they communicate and the whole engagement is driven by smartphone. So things like CRM, online application, video counseling, CRM on smartphones, drip communication, WhatsApp engagement, AI and chatbots, video-based counseling, and an ability to do application forms online and collect payments at a single click of button becomes very, very important. And think of all these things happening on a smartphone by our admission teams in a way to the students which they understand. So it's a whole layer of technology, engagement, and communication as a periodic basis using tools like CRM, marketing automation, chatbots, and machine learning. Right? So it's very, very important that we take and leverage these phenomenon of smartphone, non-proximity, so communication in the form of video to build trust, chat, drip communication, which puts your communication in auto flow, and leverage things like WhatsApp as an engagement tool, which we are helping a lot of universities build their whole communication framework on WhatsApp. So new age tools need to be adopted by the university stakeholders during their admission cycle. So what do we mean by admission platform? So, instead of going to what the product does, I want to tell you that what it means for you, right? So when we say an admission platform, what does it mean for management? So management will be able to take actionable data on how to invest their money and how to make sure that their courses are getting promoted properly. The admission heads will be able to take data-driven decisions in terms of their institute's admission performance. And finally, the teams will be able to have the right kind of tools, right, to close their KPIs and KRAs very, very seamlessly. So that's the end-to-end CRM built for this education industry. And we are probably the first one to build CRM focus for education industry. The next is basically the marketing aspect to it. How do you communicate? And it's very important to understand the autopilot word. It needs to be an autopilot because marketing is meant to be that way. So the branding team engages periodically omni-channel across every medium you can imagine, right from a phone call to social, to digital and so on and so forth. The marketing heads are accountable to the management and to the trust on returns on ad spend, how they are spending on returns, and how ExtraaEdge as a platform can enable marketing teams to optimize their cost. And finally, the admission teams identify out of those few lakh prospects who are the right fit for them, who are the right fit for the university, and how do they fundamentally nurture those prospects, build those bonds, work in a smarter way than a harder way. That's where the marketing platform comes into context. And finally, the Predict platform, which, as I said, ExtraaEdge is the first company to bring it to the stakeholders. That can we look at our data to run our admissions using the power of our previous data? Can the admission heads plan their calling, their communication based on intelligence? And can that telecaller or the counselor at the ground level sitting, having an engaged conversation with the student, right, know that what's the next best action for the student? Should I send a brochure? Should I call him? Should I call his parent? Should I give him an advice? Should I call him on a video call? Can I do a video call immediately? So tools and strategy all packed and bundled into one bouquet for them. So admission platform, marketing platform, and Predict platform all work one in a cohesive unit. Finally, we are talking about the future. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you that how the future of admission is going to look like. The future of admission is going to look like this pyramid that I'm showing you today, right? ExtraaEdge is building that future, but we can only build this future with our university partners when they partner with us. So at the bottom, all the channels through which leads flow, through the communication happens, they are all going up with the leads and the counselor activity. They are getting matched, mixed in an intelligent matching product where the admission hub, the marketing hub, and the predicting hub is helping education institute to increase, manage, and predict their admissions year on year. And the complete marketing outreach teams, counselor enabled team, digital marketing partners are all part of this economic stakeholder system, helping to drive more conversions. And at the same time, helping the students to reach out to them in the right way, especially in these difficult times. The admission technology of 2020 has to be robust, comprehensive, and ready for a digital first driven admissions, ladies and gentlemen. It needs to be ready for this. You need not need a point-based solution. You need an end-to-end strategy and thought after, view towards your admissions in the future, and especially in the COVID times. There is a very interesting quote by Darwin that it's not the strongest or the most intelligent who will survive, but those who can best manage change. I fundamentally believe in this metaphor, and I will highly recommend the stakeholders who are from universities, who are from education institutes, right? So, to make sure that, you think about your admission strategy as a long-term side and you choose partners and you choose players. ExtraaEdge is one of them who's building the future, and we would love to partner with you. So let's empower the admission teams to win in 2020. We need to help the teams, enable the teams to win. It's our fiduciary responsibility, especially when they're working from home. Because if you let the admission teams win, somewhere the university will win. And at the end of the day, a prospect student sitting at a tier 2, 3, 4 city will be able to fulfill their education dreams. Thank you very much.
Great, Abhishek. Thank you. And I think you have highlighted the very important area, which is admissions. For any university or any college to succeed, the admissions are the most critical requirement. And there are some questions, I think.
Yeah, I would love to take them.
On the if you can open the Q&A box on the screen.
Sure. So I think there's a question from Sanket R. Murthy. What are the solutions you are offering in your product? So Dr. Ravi, I don't want to make it more product based, but I'll very quickly take 30 seconds to answer this, right? So basically, Mr. Sanket, we have a end-to-end admission platform. So any university can run their entire admissions, right from the part of generating of leads when the leads come in till the admits. So the whole aspect of a CRM, marketing automation, nurturing, engagement, and follow-up till closure can happen on ExtraaEdge. You can make the whole process happen. You can do the GDPI curriculum, the whole kind of communication that happens during the admission cycle. So CRM, marketing automation, right, and the right communication along with analytics and measurement to take right enrollment decisions for your university and the institute. Yeah.
There is
from Abhishek,
some other questions.
Yeah, a question from Abhishek Tomar. What behavioral change you are seeing in students amid Corona crisis regarding admission? Does virtual learning had an impact on that? So thank you, Abhishek, for the question. Of course, I think this COVID crisis, and Dr. Ravi has been leading so many webinars, so he's probably the best person to answer this. But one thing I can clearly tell you that people are adopting to online learning. So Dr. Nirmala Sitharaman in May launched a directive called that around 100 universities are allowed to launch a fully online program now, right? Along, where universities can launch the fully online program. So you can see that from a government, there is a mandate that they are embracing online learning programs, which was not the case earlier. So there is a change from governance, from government and education bodies. So you will see more. I think on a behavioral change, what I am seeing is there will be a hybrid between collaboration from a edtech player and a university player, which we are seeing very clearly happening with the case of Upgrad and other places. So an Upgrad might collaborate with the Ahmedabad University and launch a course. So that we will very clearly see in that case. But at the same time, from a technology perspective, I would tell you that whenever distance between human beings becomes broader, there needs to be a technology to bridge that gap. That's why CRM and marketing automation for admission will become very, very important. So how to provide
Abhishek, let's take some more relevant questions which are directed to your product. And there is a question by Sudha, and she has asked that how does ExtraaEdge ensure that the lead is converted to admission for the institute?
Right, absolutely, Sudha. So basically, Sudha, via ExtraaEdge platform with the software, when the admission teams use that product, right, they are able to identify, first of all, out of the lakhs of leads coming in via our intelligent matching, that who are the people who are interested in you based on some leading indicators. It could be as simple as that, who has opened my email and SMS, to as complicated as how much time he has spent on my website and what he has done, so on and so forth. So what we call as leading indicators or intent signals that we track, and we provide that signals to your admission teams to understand who to talk, who not to talk. More important it is who not to talk, because your seats are only around 100,000 or 500. So who not to talk is very, very important, right? That's one. Second is that when you have identified who to talk, how can you communicate in a way they understand? A lot of students do not open emails, but they look at WhatsApp, they look at chat. So how can you build a conversational platform to establish your admission communication with them? And third and foremost, right, while you're doing it, you need to keep on fine-tuning your channel through which leads are coming and the tools through which your people are performing well or not. So you are doing everything right, but we enable counselors to record their phone calls via a very easy click to call. So maybe they are not positioning themselves in a way that you say, because their calls are not being right, conversion not happening. So you can just go look at the calls, listen to the calls, and do a quality assessment of your admission teams. So three things, right? How do you make sure you identify who are interested in you using intent-based signals, communicate with them in a way they understand, and third, measure the outcomes of your performance of your teams, and the channel performance through which the leads are coming. That's how we do that.
Sure. And I think one last question is that this can work also in art and science colleges?
Yeah, of course. So we have customers, Dr. Ravi, who offer art science college. There are a lot of logos there. I mean, all Ahmedabad, Avandika University, they offer MIT, they all offer. Respected Professor Karad is here, so he would probably talk more about it. But then definitely we work with education institutes who offer courses right from an MBA to design art to fitness courses. We even work with few NGOs who offer courses that, and they are also customers. So anybody who is selling an education course today, right, will need a technology to run their admissions very efficiently, and that's where ExtraaEdge comes in, sir.
Sure. And Abhishek, is there any data or case study you have where like
Of course.
any university or college which is implemented your system has got better results? So you have some.
Absolutely, absolutely, sir. We have a lot of case studies. So on our website there is a link where people can go and look at the case studies. And my phone number is here. I'm more than happy to reach out to people. People can reach out to me. I have given my number there. And what we can do is that while we do that, we can then have a more deeper dialogue with them by sharing case studies and things like that. And we can have a discussion on that. More than happy to do
Sure,
it.
sure. Abhishek, please again write your organization's website and your email address and WhatsApp number again on the chat so that people don't miss it. And how do people get your PPT? Like if they are interested to, Abhishek.
Yeah, this PPT, Dr. Ravi, was created for them, so it's
Okay.
theirs. So I
Okay.
will mail it to the Elets administrative team, and they can kind of they can reach out to that in that way. And if any questions on that, I can take that later on over an email or on WhatsApp. No problem.
Excellent, excellent. So, if any of the audience is interested to have the PPT, you can mail our team, and Elets will be happy to provide you. And Abhishek has written his email address, phone number, and WhatsApp number on the chat, and you will like get it. So, thanks a lot, Abhishek. I think like this was an excellent presentation, and it really helps the universities and colleges a lot. So, Abhishek, with this, we are closing the session.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you, Dr. Ravi, for having. And I'll like to commend Elets for organizing this. And I think you are the catalyst who are helping technology players like Meet University. So thank you to you.